3, 2, 1.
Whoa, slow down. Reach the Combine? Gordon Freeman? Captain, are you mad?
Oh my god.
How were you just talking at the same time as yourself talk? How did you have two voices at once, Alex? What the fuck?
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah, since I recorded it anyway.
Okay. So, like, I know you haven't played the game, but I thought surely you would have seen some of the cutscenes.
I've seen the old one.
This is Sardonicast. I'm Adam from Your Movie Sucks.
I'm Ralph.
And I'm Nick from Hunt Down the Freeman.
Yeah, sorry to bring that up again.
I wasn't expecting another one.
2 episodes in a row. Well, I was going to do that for the intro last time, but I was like, the Kenny versus Spenny thing is coming out. You know, there's only like one shot before the thing's out. Anyway.
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess that was when the character was American. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. It's good. Good story. Sure to be competed with by another amazing story coming out. Chaos Walking. The trailer's finally out. We've been memeing about it for a while.
Yeah.
After
I was really excited to watch it.
20 fucking years of delays or something.
The second I saw it was out, I sent it to you guys. I'm like, it's out.
Yeah.
It's
finally
What do
here.
you think?
I think it looks promising in the way that I would want it to be. You know?
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting so much of an action movie vibe. I thought this was just going to be like a Netflix movie or something. Where is this going to be released? 'Cause it's coming out in
I think
January.
they're trying for theaters, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my impression.
Okay,
It's a Doug Liman film.
It reminded me of
Edge
Star
of
Wars.
Tomorrow and shit. Well, yeah, because Daisy
Yeah.
Ridley's in it also.
With Daisy
but
Ridley and she's in space.
There's
like,
also a
little bit.
double
There's, like-
moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like aliens and stuff. I wasn't expecting it to be such kind of big budget affair. Like
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's got Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley.
It's kind of like Endor. She's like scavenging, you
Well,
know?
I didn't realize the budget was going to be 100 million plus was all. But
That's how they get the
Clearly
budget
it
back
is.
is by casting Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley. You don't put them in a movie if you're not spending a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
doesn't it just show how old it is, though? You know, like they probably wanted this movie out during the peak of these new Star Wars movies. With
I know.
Daisy Ridley on the cover and everything, but they kind of missed that one.
Yeah.
So,
And now everybody hates Star Wars. Especially that trilogy.
Well, the last film wasn't the best one. It made me appreciate Last Jedi more. The Jonas Brothers in it.
yeah, that was. What was that other movie he was in? Because I recognized him, like that
Oh, yeah.
Jonas brother. He was in.
It's
like,
not Dunkirk, right? That's Harry Styles.
I think it was
Yeah.
Jumanji. I think it was one of the
Yeah,
Jumanji,
Jumanji.
movies. I think he was in it.
Oh, Joe Manji. And then Mads Mikkelsen is in it.
Yeah, the cast isn't bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
And neither's the premise in theory to me. Anyway,
Okay.
with this idea that like all the blokes in the world, it's just. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just like a planet with men, and all the men can like read each other's minds. But then Rey Skywalker shows up, and no one can read her mind.
No, I mean,
Right.
yeah, it's not about reading people's minds. It's that, like, your thoughts just, like, fucking physically exist outside your head and make noise.
And what was there like? There's like a part where an animal comes out of one or something. Was that like?
I don't know. I haven't. There's a
I was
book.
quite confused by that.
And if anybody's never heard us talk about this before, the reason why I even know this film exists is because Charlie Kaufman adapted the book into the screenplay in the first draft, but it's apparently been rewritten so many times that like his name isn't even on the poster at this point. So
Yeah.
this is not going to be a Charlie Kaufman film. He might have gotten paid for it, but it's not going to be a Charlie Kaufman film. It looks like a dumpster fire, and I'm very excited. It doesn't look like it's going to be as bad as After Earth, but it's given me a lot of the same vibes. And also remember that like when you have a trailer like this, it's like this is all their best footage they just showed us. This is like the best footage that they showed us. Everybody has this weird sort of like lens for expectations in film where they see a trailer and they're like, I wasn't really wowed by, you know, there wasn't really anything impressive in the trailer, but the premise is interesting enough, you know, maybe some cool things could happen. No, they showed you the best, they literally showed you the best parts. That's how big studios work, especially for comedy movies. If the trailer doesn't make you laugh once, don't go into the movie thinking like, it could be funny. No, they showed the funniest parts in the trailer, trust me. That's how it works.
Yeah, it does look like a January movie. That's for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. They knew it was going to be a January movie, and they ensured that it would be a January movie. They delayed it from January to January 2020 to 2021, before COVID ruined theaters. They were like, we're delaying it another January. We don't want to compete with like Doolittle.
I was trying to look into how many times they pushed it back.
A bunch.
It's like,
it was like over the course
how
of like
many
at
years?
least 3 years, I think.
Yeah, 3 years. Yeah,
No.
that's pretty bad.
Yeah. And like for the movie to be finished last January, like the reshoots were done, I'm pretty sure, in last January, and then they pushed it forward again. They just delayed it for no reason because it's Lionsgate.
It's not usually a good sign, is it?
No, and you know,
it's weird.
like with so many studios doing the whole like, okay, well, there's a pandemic, let's just release it on digital. It's like you clearly don't think anyone's gonna watch this movie anyway. You pushed it from January to January. Just fucking release it on digital. They did the same thing with Saw Spiral. Saw coming out in like May 2021 now. It's like, you don't need to see it in theaters. Just push it on digital. There's not that many people going to theaters right now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be much different in a month and a half from now. It might be a lot worse in a month and a half from now in the States. It might be a lot worse.
Yeah, things might be closed again. So I don't expect a theater to like be showing this. So they're releasing it 2021 January.
Yeah, so it's going to be like post
So they can write it
holidays
off that year.
COVID
All the
numbers.
producers can write it off for that year. Yeah, not 2020. 2020 they wrote off the Bruce Willis movie, the hard kill one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look weak.
That's what they do.
I don't know if it's quite After Earth tier, because that's something special to me.
There's
that
vibes.
After Earth.
Yeah, if Jaden Smith
Yeah,
was in
there's
this
vibes
one,
to
then
that.
maybe.
It's a higher production value, I think.
Yeah.
Not as much CGI, maybe. I don't know, higher production value. It's
Yeah,
like
we
shot
don't
in the
know.
forest. Yeah, who knows?
And it's like After Earth was like just Will Smith and just Jaden,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
It's a
There
good
was
cast.
No one else
I
in
think.
it.
Yeah.
So it was extra humorous in that way.
It looks like there'll be some goofy shit.
Well, I mean, look at the poster.
Goofy's
it's one of the
fine.
worst posters I've seen in a while.
Boring is not fine. If it's just dull, then I'm not going to get into it. But if it's very goofy
Okay.
and fun, then, you know, for like a VOD movie, whatever.
You like Goofy?
Yeah.
It could be a cult classic.
My ex.
I'd rather it be.
Yeah, it's got a premise at least. You know, it's got a nugget, which is more than
It
you know,
technically
like
has
It's
a
got a
After
premise.
Earth.
good. It's got a good.
The
cast.
presence is fucking. I mean, I don't know. You say you kind of like the presence. I think it looks.
Well, I can see it working in book form.
Yeah,
is what I mean
exactly.
by that.
There's so many things that scream like, "Oh, this is a book. This belongs in a book."
Well,
not
yeah,
a movie.
like the screenshot on IMDb is like a picture of Tom Holland with all this like purple smoky goo around his
Yeah,
head, which I
it's the
suppose
noise.
is supposed to represent his like thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, the noise.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to play out. If
To imagine it
because that could really miss.
is better than like actually visualizing it and
Yeah.
having like the
Yeah.
you know, the actual audio of all
Yeah.
the noise.
Mads Mikkelsen's a good actor too.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he is.
Very much so.
I like him. I think he would be good.
I'm mod about mods.
Same.
If
In
they
a good
just
way.
embrace the goofiness of it, or kind of like, I don't know if this is a good example, the last Twilight movie, the villain.
Okay,
in that.
I haven't seen that one yet. I've heard everybody hates that one though.
Yeah.
Even the
But
fans.
That's the best one.
Yeah, Michael Sheen.
Oh,
Okay.
Michael Sheen in Twilight
Yeah.
movies, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what's really funny. The official trailer uploaded on the Lionsgate Movies official YouTube channel. You can see that they've included the top billed actors in here in the title. Official trailer. Daisy
Yeah.
Ridley, Tom Holland, Nick Jonas. No mods. Sorry.
Mhm.
Mhm. He's in the description.
Yeah. I understand
He's
why.
not Spider-Man, so
Obviously,
Kurt
but
Sutter, huh?
it's just funny. Like the most talented actor out of all of them is just like, that's not what we're advertising here. We are not advertising great performances. We are advertising celebrity performances.
yeah, Spider-Man and Ray. That's what it's about.
Yeah. Do you know who Kurt Sutter is?
Yeah.
He's the creator of Sons of Anarchy, and like he's an actor too. He's in Sons of Anarchy.
Mhm.
But that's weird. He's just like he's in it, like as a side part. I think. I don't know. Like I guess he's into acting now.
Anyway, we're all fucking hyped for this fucking awesome looking movie about
Yeah.
basically it's like the movie What Women Want, but it's like what men want. So you can hear what men think, and there's only one girl.
I don't think it's what anyone wants.
What lame jokes are they going to make with that?
Yeah, there's gonna be so
I
many.
don't know.
It even starts with like that lame, like the trailer's gonna start now. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that.
Yeah, and every
You
single
get
one of
that.
those titles, it's like they have all these like flashcards basically, and they keep showing up, and every single one of them is like the most generic text possible. Let's see if I can skip to a random one, see what it says here. Forget everything you know. Okay, like come on.
Yeah, it's vague.
It's gonna
There's
change
like
everything,
6 of those, and they all sound like that.
Yeah.
Everything you know.
It's
Yeah.
just kind of a stock trailer. Like it says the names at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, they just handed the footage to a trailer house and were like, just please save us.
Yeah.
And they tried their best.
Speaking of forgetting everything you know, there's some more deets on the fucking Snyder Cut here.
Yeah.
Let me know, because I'm out of the loop on the Snyder Cut now. So please.
Okay,
You guys didn't watch the new trailer.
No, I think the trailer is irrelevant.
Okay. Is it an actual new one, or you say it's on his Twitter?
It's black and white, and it has the same music. It's like the Cohen Hallelujah cover.
We were joking
Right.
But
about
it's a
black
different
and white
trailer.
last time, weren't we? Like that wasn't a thing.
Well, black and white films can be good.
No, I was
I mean, it's
saying
a
that
stylistic choice.
it's a ridiculous and hilarious thing that Zack Snyder wants Justice League to be black and white. And even so, I don't know
Yeah.
if I don't think it's actually being released that way. I think he just said in an article that he originally wanted it to be like black and white IMAX. Maybe he's just
Yeah.
jerking himself off by posting that on Twitter, and
Right.
that's not like an official thing. That's on his own personal Twitter, right? So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's on his personal Twitter.
I don't think it's going to be actually black and white, but what I did find out is that he says that there's maybe 4 minutes of extra footage that wasn't already shot,
Mm-hmm.
which is hilarious because there was a whole fucking article about Jared Leto being in the movie, so apparently he's only in it for like less than 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're genuinely adding 4 minutes to it. That's what all of this hubbub was
Yeah.
about.
And
4
yeah,
minutes.
like the rest of the 4 hours was apparently already shot for the original Justice League or something. So it's like, I don't know, if that movie was trimmed down to be less boring, imagine what all the lost footage is going to be like. Like you're not even restructuring it, you're not like rewriting it or anything, you're just literally
just
having
adding
like
scenes in.
here's what we cut from the first movie because it was too bloated. This cut's going to be better. Okay.
What a bizarre project it's turned out to be.
Such
I
a
was
meme.
never expecting this. I was never expecting this.
Tonally, it'll be a bit different than the other one. A bit less bland. I think that's like my biggest complaint with like the version we have right now is that has no style at all.
Yeah.
It feels
Mhm.
like a studio
Editing
patch
and
job.
music.
In every sense. Yeah, even
Yeah.
like the color palette, it's very flat.
So what, we're going to get something closer to BVS then, do you think?
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know if that's good either. I think the studio
Can't
kind of
win.
took the movie away from him and made it different for that reason. But it's just gonna go on HBO Max. We might as well see it.
Mhm.
Like we might as well
Yeah.
see this version. What's the worst that can happen? How bad can it be?
Yeah, at this point, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be my first experience with it. I'm very excited to be the only person.
You don't want to watch the other one first?
No, because everybody else has that experience. I want to be the only person on the planet to see the Snyder Cut first.
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is funny.
Because nobody's watching the
yeah.
Snyder Cut unless they like the original. So
hmm
I'll be the only one.
Yeah, that's good.
Have a unique perspective.
Yeah.
And I'll tweet at Armand White, being like, wah, you experienced the bad one first. I got to experience the epic Elon Musk
The one that fixes it.
one first. Alex and I saw a film, and Ralph did not see it, but we don't think Ralph would enjoy it anyway, so we're going to talk about it and spoil it. It's called
Yeah, you can
Run.
spoil it. That's fine.
Spoiler discussion for Run
Run.
2020, directed by, I think the name is Anish Chaganty or something. Maybe I should look this up and not sound...
Gigantic.
Oh, it looks right.
No, it's something close to that. Let's see. Anish Chaganty. I was right. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but I was correct in what letters were where. Anyway, this is from the director of Searching, a movie that I actually really liked.
Yeah.
It had John Cho, and it was like the the movie that Unfriended tried to be, even though it wasn't a thriller. I mean, it wasn't like a horror slasher or anything, but it's the best pretending to be on a computer screen movie that exists. And I like it for that. And it's really well written, really great twists and turns. So this is the follow-up. I mean, it has nothing to do with that, but this is the director's next movie. And it's not as good. There's some things I like about it. There's some things that I don't like about it. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I definitely prefer Searching over Run. It's just something I hadn't really seen before, actually done to good effect, was the main thing with that movie. Whereas here, it's a much more standard kind of horror thriller type movie. And it is fun. It is enjoyable. I did enjoy my time with it, but I can't say it's really left much of an impression on me besides the odd moment. I thought the direction was really good. There was just so much of that horror, silly stuff that kept pulling me out of it.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about spoilers in this section?
Yes,
or?
We got to spoil the whole thing.
Yeah, because it's hard to talk about, to be honest, without going into spoilers. But the basic premise is about a disabled young lady basically finding out that her mum has kind of kept some secrets from her, and she's homeschooled her and had complete control over her life.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, she realizes that maybe everything isn't quite as it seemed.
Munchausen by proxy.
Yeah, and kind of like Searching, it has its hook to keep you going, but I found Searching much more kind of engaging moment to moment, more surprises towards the end, and it was a bit more expected with Run. I feel like I've seen this type of horror movie before, obviously, with it's very tropey in that way. It reminded me a bit of that, I can't remember what it was called, but a horror movie from a few years ago about the deaf woman. It was a similar kind of structure to that.
The
where,
deaf
you know,
woman?
Yeah, where she couldn't hear, so then the movie's about her like trapped in her house with someone like sneaking around the house, and she can't hear it, so it's like scary, extra
Don't
scary
even
for
know
her.
what movie that is.
Hush.
Hush.
Yeah, Hush,
Okay,
that's
I
what it
never
was
watched
called.
that.
Yeah,
I was getting actually kind of vibes of like Don't Breathe, even though it wasn't nearly as like fun or over
I got
the top
a bit,
as
I think
that.
it was just it wasn't, and it took itself fairly seriously. All the performances were pretty good.
Yeah.
And the characters' motivations were quite strong, I thought, even with the more complicated kind of mother character. She does go, obviously to extreme lengths, but at least there's some characterization to her kind of evilness. It's not just pure black and white.
Yeah. I feel like its biggest problem for me is that it's not serious enough for me to take it completely seriously, and it's not goofy enough for me to ignore that it's trying to take itself seriously. Like if it steered itself further in either direction, I think I would enjoy it more. Like if it was as goofy as like Drag Me to Hell or something, it doesn't have to be as like gory or anything. But if it had that same sort of like tone and energy to
Kind of
it,
exaggerate, yeah.
which
yeah.
some scenes you could debate it does have, but there's always that like lingering sort of like, oh wait, this is kind of also trying to take itself seriously too. So it's not like there's some parts where it's like it feels like a popcorn, like, oh wow, like, yell at the screen and laugh sort of movie, but you don't really know if it's trying to be that at the same time. Yeah, that would be my biggest issue with it. There's a lot of fucking cheese in this movie that like really did not need to be there. I wrote down a couple of them. When she finds the pill, she says, "Mom," when her mom's not there, and it's like, okay, well, that's to let the audience know that it's her mom's pill that she's looking at. But then in the very next scene, she confronts her mom about it and says, "Your name was on it." And it's like, well, okay, so you didn't need that dubbed line of like, "Mom," like there's just so much extra shit there that's not needed. She stares at the pill later. She says, "What the hell are you?" Like all these like weird, you can almost tell what they're thinking when they put that in the script, and thinking like that if it's like delivered differently, it might work, but it just doesn't work that well.
Yeah, there were a few conveniences that kept kind of rearing their head in order for the story to make sense. Like every time she would have kind of revealed what her mum was up to, but it like she just gets interrupted or someone just stops it in time. There's lots of that kind of stuff in there, but you kind of expect that with this kind of genre, but that did start kind of exhausting me towards the middle a little bit. But it does a good job of building up the tension. There's some good scenes in there. It is kind of claustrophobic and small scale.
For the most part.
Yeah, it reminded me a bit of like Misery, with like, you know, people trapping each other in spaces and trying to figure out how to escape the bottle type stuff. I always enjoy that kind of thing, of having to outsmart the kind of trapper, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I like how she just fucking steals a baby and gets away with it for like 15 years or however long.
The silliest part that pulled me out the most was the pharmacy scene, where she manages to convince the pharmacist to kind of give away sensitive information because she's a fan of like escape rooms and scavenger hunts.
I love games.
So she's like, oh, yeah, that was like the dumbest thing to me. That was the major time I was kind of ripped out the movie, because that's just like, well, there was already a queue in the pharmacy as well, and everyone's just like conveniently leaves so the mum can deal with the situation. There's just lots of like stuff like that, but overall, I did enjoy it more than I didn't, to be honest. I found it enjoyable because it's not very long. It hits all the beats you kind of want and expect from this type of movie, but I'm just not going to remember it.
Exactly. I feel like I'm going to be like, oh yeah, this was a movie, and like a year from now I'll see the poster, I'll be like, oh yeah, I watched that. You know.
What did you think of the leads?
They weren't amazing. They were good. There was nothing bad about their performances.
I think Sarah Paulson does a pretty good job carrying it as the mother.
She's the better actor, but they were both serviceable for what they were doing.
She's a very good actor, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't have a whole lot to say about it. Just wanted to mention it and how we felt about it. Check it out, maybe. It's on Hulu, I guess. It's really cheesy and dumb, but not the worst experience ever. Just one more note I have: when she fucking pulls out her cane at the end of the sound effect they added. Like fucking Christ. There's so much. If they just there's tiny things they could have done to make this not as like stupid of a movie, and make it not feel like it's just trying to appeal to like dumb people in ways, you know?
Yeah, and it is frustrating when it can't find its footing that way, but it also does have kind of its moments of clear inspiration and brilliance. Like he's clearly a talented director. I really want to see this guy direct something that maybe he didn't write or have a go right.
Yeah,
it's just a fresh project just to see what he can do.
It's him and someone else that wrote it, and it's the same two that wrote Searching, Sev Ohanian or whatever. Yeah, I would like to see more from this director.
He clearly knows what he's doing.
Yeah, who knows what genre I would like to see him tackle. But, I mean, yeah, the film was really well shot. It looked nice. It had some good movement to it. Oh, yeah, that fucking stupid twist also was annoying. Anyway, yeah, check it out if you want. Definitely check out Searching. Searching is awesome. And I'm giving this one
Searching
a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably give this a 3-star. Just 3-star out of 5. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
I haven't seen it, but maybe I will.
Do you want to see it, Ralph, from what we're saying? Maybe you should check it out.
Yeah. It's on Hulu if you have
watch.
Hulu. You can just skim through it if you want.
Yeah, I got Hulu.
So, there's a movie that was recommended last episode by somebody.
By me.
Yep.
By a very naked me. When I recommended it, I was naked.
Oh,
you
really?
guys know that?
I could tell. I've got the ear for that.
So yeah, spoilers for 93's Naked, directed by Mike Lee. So the story of this movie is basically, before we go into the discussion, it's mostly about David Thewlis, one of my favorite actors, one of my underrated actors, is the lead, and he plays a northerner who travels down to London, and kind of he's homeless and bounces around from person to person, from like ex-girlfriends and just strangers he meets, kind of exposing all different aspects of London and class differences and the greyness in the relationships between city life and the north and the south. It has a hell of a lot going for it and a hell of a lot going on, and it doesn't really have a straight up plot per se. It is more about the acting and the dialogue and the kind of themes that overarch. And this has always been recommended to me because of my like for David Thewlis. And you can see why this movie kind of propelled his career into what it is now. You might know him from Harry Potter or Big Lebowski or...
Oh, what does he do in Harry Potter?
Yeah,
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
He's the werewolf in Harry Potter.
He's a werewolf. Okay.
He's the werewolf character, yeah. He's the recurring like teacher character, and which is odd because there's a werewolf line in this movie.
Oh,
He
yeah.
refers to himself as a werewolf in Howls, which
That's
I thought
funny.
which that tickled me.
He's very good in the movie. He's very good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, well, what did we think? What was our impressions? This is all our first viewings of it, right? None of us are familiar with this film.
I think I watched the wrong movie. I watched Naked 2017 with Marlon Wayans on Netflix. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, maybe I should have recommended that.
Somebody made a joke in the subreddit saying, here's the recommendation for the next episode, and some people thought it was serious. I had to tag it as satire.
Oh, how angry were they at me?
When you Google it, yeah.
Yeah,
See, like,
Naked,
Marlon
Wayans, 36 Metascore.
More people have probably seen that version.
Yeah, sorry if you're confused on the podcast, thinking we were talking about a Marlon Wayans movie. Have to pause and watch the real one
Maybe
and come
one
back.
day.
Yeah, I agree with your assessment. It's very much like a performance piece. The plot is... There are so many times in this movie where I was thinking, like, what the fuck is going on? Not like it was difficult to understand what was literally happening
where's this
for the most
going?
part, but just
Yeah.
like, what is this dynamic here between like the people and just a lot of events in this film that was just like, what the fuck? But I really enjoyed it overall,
And that's something I loved about it.
and I agree that it's a really great performance piece. Have either of you seen any other Mike Leigh films?
Unfortunately, not. No,
No?
I've had Secret and Lies and was it Mr. Turner, I think, on my watch list, but never got around to actually watching them.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
I saw Happy Go Lucky and Another Year, and I enjoyed both of them. My rating for Another Year is higher than Happy Go Lucky, but I remember less about it. Happy Go Lucky was like mostly just like a performance vessel for like Sally Hawkins, basically, is what I remember it being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say that this one's my favorite out of the three that I've seen, for sure.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ralph?
I loved it too. Yeah, I thought it was really great. It's mainly about like that, just like this kind of pathetic character and his cycle of abusive relationships, and it's kind of funny, comedic. I think you're definitely not supposed to see it as a tragedy the entire time, but it is very tragic.
It's dark. It's nihilistic. Yeah,
it's very dark and nihilistic, and this character, having that nihilistic attitude, just kind of where that leads you in life, just like always being so negative. It's just kind of like he's just obnoxious. Like he's talking to that guy on the street, and the guy fucking kicks him. Like he's just so fucking obnoxious and negative.
He's so cynical, and he's always kind of parading around his thoughts.
They can't have like a positive relationship with anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's also the way they kind of imply his history through just moments of him showing like vulnerability, or just the way he reacts and responds to people. Like when he first goes into the building with the guard at night, and he kind of drops his bag and cause he thinks he's going to be attacked because he's so used to just like grief and turmoil. Basically, he's a damaged character,
right,
for lack of a better word.
But he's very funny because I don't know, he has a lot of good sayings that a lot of things he's saying
very
are
intelligent.
true, but it's like, how far are you going to take this mindset? Like, yeah, everything's a structure, everything's a construct. Like you're gonna like run around,
he's
go
a
house
conspiracy
to house.
theorist too.
Yeah, go house to house, like just smoking cigarettes all the time and live no life. Like it's like crazy.
Well, this is the kind of character we're talking about. It basically opens on him raping someone and then fleeing, and that's his motivation for going to London. So you're starting a character at that point. So it's shocking you ever even accept the grayness, beyond. Because I didn't leave the movie like hating him. He's definitely a flawed person that has done horrible things. But I think the movie does a good job of exploring the kind of grey area with the people that live in these cities, and the relationships and the disconnect people have between each other, and how it manifests when you put them in these strange situations like London.
Yeah, all the characters are interesting.
A post-Thatcher London, I think, is a big part of it, with just one of the most hated politicians in the UK, just coming out of power. So that had a big effect, I think, on just the kind of attitudes and the just the feeling coming out of London from the time. But that's what one of my major takeaways was just the movie being about just the divide, the division between people, and how like connecting can be so difficult based on so many different factors. Be it there's the whole north and south of England kind of conflict that the movie explores, with how the north kind of typically doesn't get on with the city folk, and there's clashes there, and how, you know, people in the city stereotypically can be kind of more distant and all this kind of stuff. But then on top of that, there's also the huge kind of misogynist side of the movie, the differences between men and women that way, division between the classes too, with the many homeless characters featured in the movie, and then on top of that, the contrasting with the kind of landlord fella, the disgusting landlord gentleman.
Yeah.
And it basically covers all aspects, all kind of variety of city life, and well, just life in general, to be honest, and just the effects that can have on someone, and the existential kind of themes that come with the intelligence that the main character has, because he's always, as you said, Ralph, he's like, everything's a structure, and he's like tearing it all down, but to what good? You know, his life is he's still on the streets, and he can't do himself any favors, really. He keeps digging it deeper.
Never showers the entire movie and still manages to get laid. But
I can't think. That's what I can't think.
He's got some charm, I guess.
So Grace. Yeah, he's got his.
He's got something.
It's a different time, you know.
Yeah, I guess maybe. Yeah, I found it like very strange to open up the movie with the rape scene sort of thing. Not only just for like a character attribute, but also tone. Because the first genre listed on IMDb is comedy. I guess perhaps they don't specify comedy and dark comedy on IMDb. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I was like, whoa, this doesn't seem like a fucking comedy. Yeah. And especially the tone of the music. Really good music in the film. Really repetitive, but it doesn't get annoying, at least. It's got purpose to its repetition. Yeah, I feel like without the music, all of the other elements of the film would still work great independently, but they wouldn't work all that great together. I feel like the music really glues the experience together in this film. And that's not an insult to the film itself. Like I said, the individual elements are all fantastic separately, but it would be so bizarre as like a single piece without the music tying things together. I don't know if either of you agree.
It's interesting you guys comment on the comedy aspect, because I didn't see that on IMDb, that it was supposed to be comic in any way.
Apparently, yeah.
So when I saw it after, I was like, oh, I guess it kind of is. Like, it is a dark comedy, and there's definitely
it's mostly in the dialogue.
Yeah.
But but it seems so kind of realistic in the way all the humor comes from just quips and observations from certain characters, and just the way they interact with each other. It's not a comedy in the sense that there are jokes. It's still all in service of like a dramatic character and a set of characters, and the way they entangle with each other, which is the good way to do that kind of humor. And it wouldn't be doing the North justice without, you know, that sense of humor that David Thewlis has in the movie. And did you guys read anything about the way they kind of constructed the script on this one? Because I was quite intrigued by the way they did it. So it appears that the director kind of got the actors together and kind of forced them to stay in character every time they interacted, and almost like work together on the script to flesh out the characters with the actors and the backstories and everything, and kind of go from there. So it has this kind of improvised, realistic feel to it, even though only one or two scenes, I think, had like improv in it properly. But
okay,
it just gives this really fleshed out kind of. It adds a lot to their performances. I really felt like they knew each other, and their dynamics were set in stone, and it just felt very real in that way, very authentic. Them going to the pub, they're always smoking. This is a claustrophobic movie too, and uses small spaces in quite an efficient way too. Because most scenes are like just inside a house or a flat, an apartment. It's not jumping around at all, but it is just about placing these characters in a room together.
Very drab colors. It's like all very pale.
Yeah, and just seeing where it goes, because there is just inherent drama. I mean,
Yeah.
with it opening on a rape scene, him fleeing, going to his ex who hasn't seen him for years or whatever, and then this landlord fella.
Yeah.
Who when I originally saw, I read like the back or whatever of the case, and it said the story was parallel tales of two sexually obsessed
I know, right?
men. It's not a good description of this movie because I don't think that landlord character he's crucial to the story, but he's not like one of the main focuses. I don't think
It doesn't
he's a contrast
really
for sure.
explore him very much.
No, he's probably the most one note character in terms of showing any greatness. He's kind of just evil, and he's supposed to be evil, and that's what he's supposed to represent, is that kind of detached grossness that comes with, you know, people like that and how intense that can be.
His line when he said, "I'm going to kill myself when I'm 40 years old," that was pretty funny. Like that.
Do you want to grow old? I'm going to
Like,
commit he was disgusting. I'm going to commit suicide on my 40th birthday.
Yeah, whatever he said. So the tone of it reminded me of Train Spotting, kind of like that kind of comedic tone.
Yeah, Spud is literally in the movie too.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say he's also in Wonder Woman, and Black Hawk Down. Like he was really good.
I thought I recognized him.
Yeah.
There's lots of good kind of bit characters because as he kind of journeys through the night, he goes into all sorts of David Thewlis. This is he winds up with all sorts of different characters. My personal favorite being the security guard, which apparently with all of that. Yeah, that whole sequence all came from improv, apparently.
Oh, really?
They were just working for like 8 hours or something, and they managed to work it down into this really thought-provoking sequence. I really liked that whole, you know, guarding the empty rooms and this like anarchist kind of guy coming in and being like, "Your life sucks."
Yeah,
like having to think about that is sad, and I don't know. Again, that made me think of, just because it's been on my mind recently, because I'm rewatching it, like Mr. Robot with Tyrell and his kind of, you know, the mad businessman type thing, and it's criticizing that whole side of where that thinking can go. The other rapist character reminded me of him.
Yeah, it reminds me of Tyrell.
Yeah.
I liked that sequence a lot, and I liked the Spud guy, the guy with the tick. My guy!
Yes,
I like that, that sequence a lot.
Yeah.
Those are probably my two favorite parts of the movie, which without those two sequences, the movie would feel less purposeful, even though those two sequences are the most detached from the central story of, you know, him and the rapist and the two girls, and, you know. But I feel like those two sequences tie the movie together the best, despite them literally just feeling like a detour in a way. It's like, I feel like if you wrote this movie on paper, it almost feels like it shouldn't work, you know? It's very bizarre, and it's very unique.
I think the approach makes it work.
Yeah.
Just the dedication to kind of being, you know, more realistic and accurate, and having a clear goal of what they would... Yeah, it is strange and dank and creepy, and it doesn't make you feel good. It's not. This isn't a movie with a happy ending.
Yeah,
you know, they propose a happy ending almost to the main character, but he rejects it in order to kind of keep running, as it were.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit. I actually wasn't even confident that the landlord was actually the landlord. I thought he was just lying for a bit.
Yeah,
it's like, how do you not know who your
that too.
landlord is? Also, like, that was weird. He just like got into the apartment. So he talks with like a much more kind of like sophisticated British accent, if that's what I can call it.
Oh, the creepy landlord guy.
Yeah, he talks a bit more like
yeah, he speaks with like the Queen's English. Yeah.
And then what would you call the rest of the characters in the flat?
Two of them have northern accents.
Northern. Okay.
Yeah, and the woman with the kind of black, the skinnier woman. She was like a Londoner.
Yeah. The way she talked reminded me a bit of like Marsha from Spaced. All right, Brian.
Yeah. It's from the same place, basically. So
yeah, really good performances in this movie too. And yeah, David Thewlis was like not really heard of before this movie to a large
I think it put him on the map, didn't it?
Yeah. I don't know what Mike Leigh was doing before this movie, really. I didn't look it up.
I think he worked on stage, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this is... I'd have to, double check, but I'm pretty sure he directed plays.
Mm-hmm. I found the dialogue to be very, very theatrically written, if that makes sense. Not just
He's
because...
a theatrical character.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, not just because of, like, the scale of most of the film just being dialogue, but, like, the way that the dialogue is written feels very much like I'm kind of, like, watching a one-act or something. There's a lot of intent to every word, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
The quippy dialogue is so rapid fire, it actually kind of reminded me of, like, Xavier Renegade Angel, obviously going for different... like, that's, like, just 100% puns the show, and going for a much more goofy, crazy, weird dude bro weed LMAO tone. But I feel like in terms of like just how jam-packed the script was with just all these little quips and funny remarks, it reminded me of it in that way. It was just like, wow, this is just bam, bam, bam. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, and some of them are really funny, actually. Like, I liked someone had Ireland, a map of Ireland on their wall, and he called it like a damp patch and stuff like that. He's just a clever, witty character, but he is a bit much for the people he's actually interacting with. You know, he's fun to watch on screen, but you can understand why. Yeah, it's great for the audience, but you wouldn't want to really deal with this guy if he happened to turn his brain onto you, because I mean, it gets him beaten up a couple times in the movie.
Yeah. He has really good lines. Oh, the part where he gets beaten up in the alleyway is really funny. Like, the second the kids come into frame, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be fucking... Like, just the way that was presented was very memorable. And the line he had was like, you had the universe explained to you, and now you're so bored, you need things like blinking toys and flashing this and whatever. Like, that was such a great line. And he has so many great lines like that. Just like, how kind of jaded he is to life. And just kind of bored.
He's very cynical.
I also liked the consistency with which the dialogue was written specifically for his character. It's not like... I feel like almost even in some like Quentin Tarantino movies where there's a lot of like philosophical conversation dialogue coming from multiple characters, the characters all start to sound like each other. Like you could exchange their dialogue and it sounds like it's like the same person almost. But... the way that this was written, especially for David Thewlis, or perhaps maybe more so the way it was performed, maybe there was a bit of ad-lib in there, a lot of the sentences would end with the same phrase, you know what I mean? Like those words, you know what I mean, would show up every, I don't know, 10th sentence or something. And so it's like that level of consistency really helped bring the character to life, because everybody has those... weird things. I say, a lot. I edit my own audio all the time. I'm well aware of my own little
we probably know more than
repetitions.
than best. One thing that was curious to me in reading about this movie and its reception at the time, there was a bit of controversy regarding the kind of misogynist stuff in the movie.
Not surprising.
Suzanne Moore from The Guardian actually criticized the female characters, whose lives Johnny routinely ruins. What sort of realism is this to show a misogynist and surround him with such walking doormats has the effect, intentional or not, of justifying this behavior? And I'm not sure I really agree with that. I never really felt like the movie was endorsing him or saying that this was a good thing. I thought it was more just holding up a mirror like, this shit's kind of... the part you don't want to see, you got your cutie comedy you can go and watch, that's got a happy ending and whatnot. It's supposed to be the antithesis of that and show like the shit people don't want to see, don't want to talk about.
Yeah, it's the last part I would disagree with, is that it's endorsing it. I don't think it's endorsing it.
Yeah,
I would argue. If I were to guess why feminist journalists would be upset at the movie, my guess would have been that like there's a rape at the beginning of the movie, and then the dialogue of that character is then written so comedically that you're supposed to empathize with him in some way. That would have been my guess, not just like they're women character that are treated like doormats and the movie's endorsing it. I don't think the movie's endorsing that, whether or not the character has quippy dialogue or is relatable in any way.
But also, the strongest character in the movie is a woman. One of his flatmates, the one who stands up against the landlord, and she
Holds a
kind
knife
of
to him,
she's consistent, and you know,
that was a
she's a
great
good person.
Yeah, it was.
That was a great scene.
Unzip your fly. I was like legit terrified she was just gonna stab him in the balls. Right there. I got like a really visceral reaction out of that. Everything involving that rapist character, I got an extremely visceral reaction out of.
Yeah,
Like there was
same.
high emotions
He's so
anytime he was on
unlikable.
screen. I was like infuriated most of the
He
time.
made the main character much more likable.
Yeah, I
and
guess
Yeah.
so, right?
which is why he was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
'cause
That's kind of funny.
The main character was kind of more torn, you know, where he kind of loved all the shit he was doing.
Yeah.
That landlord character, he was into it.
I still think the main
Mhm.
character's a gigantic asshole, though.
Mhm.
And there's parts of the movie where, like, it's so clear that either that he gets off on, like, manipulating those two, or that he's just so detached from them that he doesn't care, or... Do you know what I mean? Because, like,
he's clearly a shit stirrer, yeah. He
Yeah.
he goes in and wants to cause problems.
Especially
yeah.
that
It's his
scene where,
whole-
like, she's, like, watching TV and he just shuts it off like an asshole. And then
Mhm.
girl with the black hair is, like, trying to get his attention. Then he kisses, like, his ex. And then he, like, walks to the other room like he's got to fucking stick up his ass. And she's like, don't you want to have a drink with me? He's like, why don't you go outside and have a fucking drink? And then she's like, what? And then he gets mad and then he wants to leave, but he doesn't want her to follow. And he's not giving, like, any clear signals for, like, what
Mhm.
she can do to, like, not make him pissed off. And he's just pissed off. And it's just like, damn. Yeah, I think the main character is a gigantic asshole, despite there being scenes where I really enjoy watching his character as, like, a character study thing. I just, like, seems like a very toxic fucking person, regardless of whether or not he's damaged, you know? I think everybody's
Mhm.
fucking damaged in some way.
Yeah, true. He is
Not
just
an
straight
excuse.
up a bad person. He's not someone to, like, you know, relate to
Yeah.
in that way. He is more. If you do catch yourself relating to him, I think it's more so you can be like, oh Christ, I'm relating to this guy.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there's like a kind of religious thing going with his character, where he's obsessed with the Bible and the apocalypse. He thinks the apocalypse is going to occur in 99 for the millennium.
Mm-hmm.
But I was reading this take where people have this theory that he's either like the angel or the devil, and he's like jumping from one to the other and like mixing between them or that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
like I can kind of see that in ways, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'd be
I
interested
guess,
in reading up on some, like, interpretations of this movie, because it seems like there is some intent there. It seems like it's not just like random conversations, the movie.
Oh no.
But I didn't delve into it too far. Been busy with other stuff. So if anybody has any interpretations of the film, you can post in the comments section. As long as you say the word spoilers at the beginning of your comment, please do, and I'll read some of them
Yeah.
later.
Like a spoiler discussion thread? Yeah, do that.
It doesn't. I mean, yeah, in the YouTube comments.
Yeah. Oh, well, like on the Reddit too.
Sure, why not? A lot of bizarre shit in this movie, and I love how they brought back the the roommate that was, like, in Africa or something. I love how
Yes.
she does show
Yeah,
back
that
up
was a
at the
great
end.
part of the movie.
Sandra, I think.
You know, and then he tries, hooking up with her too.
But apparently they were fucking before the movie, is the impression I got, yeah.
Yeah, but even after this whole, like, he cuddles with, like, the one, like, normal nice girl in that whole house. And it's like he's finally gonna have a normal relationship, and then he, like, wants to hook up with her, and then he just runs out again. It's like, for me, it was just like, I don't know, I just got the movie. I just very
yeah, you were
clearly
talking
got
about
what it
him,
was about. Yeah, the Daniel Thewlis, or
David.
yeah, it was just very David Thewlis. Yeah,
Yeah.
David Thewlis. It was just very clear what it was about. Like, I'm like, oh, the cycle of abuse, how he just keeps getting into these relationships and he just ruins them, like, almost intentionally, like he can't help himself. And it seems like he has some kind of history of abuse, or like maybe an abusive relationship in his past that, like, hurt him so much that, and he has, like, these, like, I guess, seizures. Like, he starts, like, convulsing on the floor. And I'm not sure if it's, like, a medical condition or
Yeah.
like some kind of, like, traumatic, like he's reliving some
Yeah,
traumatic
I assume
thing.
that was from when he was smacking his head into the wall.
He also
Yeah.
coughs a lot in the movie to the point where it's clearly
he has like these
intentional.
violent tics that he's like, and he
Yeah.
even takes out like these violent actions on the people too.
I mean,
like
his
in his
costume
life.
design and his kind of facial hair and everything, and his unkempt kind of look does add to the character a lot. He's got such a a physical presence, and he uses his body in quite a physical way too. Like when he's angry at the poster guy for beating him up, like he tries to kick the back of the car and goes for a bin. He has
a hard time like controlling his impulses. Yeah, like that scene when he's screaming on the street was like that was really good acting.
Mm-hmm.
Like that part where he gets the shit kicked out of him really stands out to me, especially since it was so long, that take.
Yeah,
that where he's putting up the like canceled things and on the like the posters on the brick wall and whatever. Yeah, there was a lot of like allegorical stuff going on with that too. I want to watch the movie again because I feel like there's just so much stuff in the framing, in the background that has significance to like the story.
Yeah, I think I would likely enjoy it more on a second watch. Not that I didn't enjoy it this time, but I did feel, because of how atypically structured the film is, especially, there was a point, I think, right before the David Thewlis shows back up at the apartment at the end. Like right before that, when it was, whichever scene was before that, I think it was just like the two girls and the rapist, the rapist.
Yeah, they're both kind of rapists.
Multiple rapists to choose from here.
It was around there where the movie was like kind of losing me a bit, just because I was like, I didn't know where it was going or when it was ending or like what like piece this part was in the greater picture. But then pretty shortly after, it won me back. It wasn't very long that I felt like kind of out of it.
Yeah, for me it was always where is this going? Not a where is this going? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Did you find that his diatribe about like evolution to be quite interesting? Because this was like before mobile phones and the internet and everything, and he's talking about this kind of hive mind removed from our like bodies and stuff. And I just thought that was an interesting observation, considering where we are now, nearly 30 years later, and how every now and again he says something that's correct, which makes it extra. When the conspiracy theorist is saying things that are like, oh, that's an interesting kind of comment, and it is a fun dynamic to
It
throw
gets
around.
you to think about the world in a new way.
Yeah,
And it's very
it's a very good
interesting.
movie for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, that's what any conspiracy theorist, that's why they're interesting. Is because you go, oh, I didn't really think about it that way. Yeah. Not that it's always true, but
That discussion wasn't necessarily like a new idea for me, but if I had watched it when I was like teenage, maybe, I think it would have had a bigger impact on me. Not to say that it had no impact on me. I'm glad it was in the movie. I liked it. It was a cool discussion. I like that those things are being discussed, even if it's not like giving me an epiphany at that moment.
Yeah, it was more the time frame it was coming from.
Yeah, exactly.
That I was
so like
impressed by.
I imagine that that it would mean a lot to someone watching it, is what I'm saying.
yeah. I think it fits with the character too. Like the fact that he always talks in that way, like because he's so just like pathetic, and reminds me of Matthew McConaughey's character in True Detective. He has very long monologues about like, like life is meaningless and it's all a circle.
And he's like a nihilist.
Like really nihilistic. But that's just, I think that's the way those people are. They're just so like caught up in their own misery.
It's just a type of person.
Yeah. And I like that the movie keeps it vague as to what his past was.
Yeah, I'm really glad about that.
It lets you imprint that, and it doesn't ask you to feel sorry for him. It's not about what happened for him. Obviously, his actions are horrible, and the way he treats women is horrible. It's about exploring like that kind of person, how really pathetic they are. Even the other guy, the other rapist. He's like a more society accepting version. Yeah. Where like he puts on a show. He's basically a sociopath. He puts on a show like for people to get what he wants, and then once he gets women in the room, they're abusive as shit.
Yeah, and that goes back to the class struggle too. Obviously, there's that scene where David Thewlis accidentally goes into the kind of posh cab thing with the driver. Who gets mistaken for the wrong guy, and then the driver kicks him out as soon as he realizes that it's not the actual guy.
Yeah. You know what?
Feeding back into that idea.
I think I'm getting some interpretations about it right now that you mentioned you tied it back into the class struggle thing. You know, it's pretty fucking fitting that there's like a rich landlord that's literally raping his tenants.
Yeah.
Like that's a way to look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I think I probably subconsciously pick things up that you guys might not as well.
Yeah,
with it being set in London
exactly,
and the
that too.
north and everything. Like I'm just more connected to it, so I might just pick things up I don't even notice.
Yeah, exactly. Did either of you have like a favorite line from the film? There's so many to choose from. I only wrote down one of them, but
Yeah, I only recalled that one, but there were a few lines that made me laugh. The one about, you know, I don't even remember it. I said it before.
We're not important. We're just a crap idea.
Mm-hmm.
I liked his whole diatribe about that.
Yeah, that was good. Like a bad omelet, the bad omelet, like all that was good.
Oh,
yeah.
I loved when he asked the security guard, "Did you make these sandwiches yourself?" And he just said, and he says, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I thought so."
Yeah, there's
And the insecurity guard quip as well.
with how quickly all of these quippy joke lines are coming from David Thewlis. Part of the reason why it reminds me of Xavier Renegade Angel is because they're coming so fast that if you watch the movie a second time, you're going to notice jokes that you didn't the first time, because they're all just like, a lot of them are just so deadpan you don't realize that it's there, and you're still thinking about the last line, and you know you don't have enough time to react. One of the lines that I really liked was, "Been walking up the streets all night. My feet are on their last legs. You know what I mean?" It's like, feet on their last legs. I get it.
He was one of those where he's like always got something to say. He's always got a quip prepared. It seems like he's got his script almost. You know, like there are people like that. They've got the way they approach like every interaction. He kind of
He's
has
literally
his
living in the
script
future.
down to a T.
He's like, he knows what's coming. He's like a prophet in his own way, almost.
Well, that was part of it too, wasn't it? With that security guard talking about his future, his perfect future, to distract himself from his present. And David Thewlis is just like, you got to live in the moment. It's pointless living in the future or the past. You got to live in the now, because the now is like, you know, as long as you're not experiencing something bad, it's all right compared to the possibilities of the past or the future.
But now's in the past, man. It's not now anymore.
Now's in the past.
Fuck.
Now's in the past. You listening? You're in the past. Wait, no, they're in the future. We're in the past.
Dude, pass the bong. Sorry.
Yeah, I get confused because there is like weed in the movie, but I think they call it dope.
Oh. Yeah, dope is a general
like
term
cocaine?
for literally any drug. Yeah. You can use the word dope
What is
for
that about?
any drug.
Why dope?
I don't know.
Because
it makes you dopey.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. If someone offers you dope, don't you have to
don't take
ask them to be more specific.
Which dope?
Yeah. So what dope is this, good sir? Or madam?
Yeah, very, very strong film. Very strong visually. Shot by a man named Dick Pope. He
did a great job.
He shot Bernie and a movie called Legend with Tom Hardy. Two Tom Hardys. That's why I
that one. Okay.
Yeah, I love the look of this film. I thought it was very visually strong, and there was a lot going on to like, even though it was just a lot of dialogue, there was a lot going on to keep my eyes
I was never
wanting
bored
to watch it. Yeah, and like you said, on an audio level, lots of like chaotic dialogue and scenes, like very rapid paced. It's just a very interesting movie. Like it does so much, even though it's very limited scale. I thought it was great.
Yeah, well, I watched it after watching Run. And there's just nothing left of Run in my mind. Like this really took over all the real estate, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's very memorable, I think. There was a movie we talked about called like Short Bus, I believe. It's explored sexuality as well, and that was a comedy. And I feel like this was a little more subtle. I found it a bit funnier. Maybe it was the darker tone of it too. That reminded me of Trainspotting. Maybe I think British people are funnier. Like the accent, like Spud and like all that shit.
Yeah,
it added a little layer to it.
And that grime,
yeah, an extra layer of grime to the whole film that made it more interesting. I'd probably give it like 9 out of 10 or 4.5 out of 5.
Cool.
I'm pretty much with you, Ralph, to be honest. I'd give this a 9 for now, or a 4.5 star. Could go up there on a rewatch, and I do want to watch this again. I got a lot out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
It was great. Would like to see it again. I got the Criterion Blu-ray, so I can watch it whenever the fuck I want.
Same.
Mike Lee.
Bam.
He looks like Lay. Like if you look at his name.
Oh, did I say it wrong?
I know. There's some names
It's one
that
of
are
those
just
spellings where I just didn't know.
But it is
Yeah.
Lee. It is Lee. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. It is Lee.
It's dumb. In other news, there's Megan is Missing is having a resurgence on TikTok.
Explain.
It's back. It's like the number 5 rented movie on like fucking YouTube movies or some shit. I forget what somebody posted. Somebody tagged me in it. It was like Google movies or I don't know. There's like a tag for Megan is Missing on TikTok, and it has like fucking hundreds of millions of views on this tag.
But why?
Like 800 million.
What about it?
Why? Because it's a movie that young and stupid people think is real.
Oh, God damn it. Is that really it?
That has a lot to do with it, is they think it's real despite the acting and a lot of other inconsistencies, and they think it's real. A lot of TikToks of people crying.
They can't TikTok the whole movie though, right?
No, yeah, they're not like TikToking scenes from the movie. Like the hashtag for it is basically just like a bunch of 17-year-olds crying, saying the movie scarred them for life. Is like hashtag me before I watch Megan is Missing, hashtag after I watch Megan is Missing. See, I'm crying now.
And it's not like a meme joke thing.
No, the dislike bar on my review is increasing.
Oh.
I'm getting a lot of funny comments of people angry at me for making fun of a movie that's supposedly real when it's not, saying that I'm like disrespectful to like the victims when it's not real.
That's hilarious.
Amanda the Jedi hopped in. She
Yes.
made a review of it recently. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of reaction videos to it.
It's funny how certain things just get a second life, a second wind because of social media.
Yeah.
You just never would expect it.
Megan is Missing explained and plot breakdown. Wow.
It is my second most viewed video in the past 48 hours, and it has been like all week. My Megan is Missing thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had that happen for one of Shane Dawson's movies recently when he went through
yeah?
that drama.
yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
That's funny.
Not cool. That movie.
Yeah, not cool. Yeah, it was that one.
Mhm. That was a
Yeah. Internet
nightmare.
algorithms
Yeah.
are very interesting. It's just how the economy works.
Mm-hmm.
The internet economy.
That's what people
anyway.
want to watch.
Yeah, they want to watch very poorly acted torture porn films that they get very emotionally invested in for some reason. What's weird is like a lot of this argument is like, you can't make fun of this movie. It's trying to draw attention to a real issue. But like half an hour of the movie is literally just torture porn shit. It's literally like the found footage shit at the end of the movie is like, she's getting buried in a hole and she's made to eat out of a dog bowl. And so much of it is just like so unnecessary and stupid. It's like the movie itself isn't really respectful to the subject it's
Mhm.
covering.
Yeah, it's
so
just gratuitous.
why are you getting mad at me
Yeah.
about it?
It's gratuitous and tasteless.
Yeah, with a budget. It's a very, very low budget.
It's got everything TikTokers love.
Everything TikTok.
Is that what they're called? TikTokers?
TikTokers?
I
I
don't
guess
know.
so. I thought
Ralph,
you
you
just
said you made an
invented that.
account, right?
Yeah, am I a TikToker?
Ralph the TikToker?
I mean, you have an account. Do you use it? That was like
no,
2 months
I
ago.
haven't
at
made
least.
I haven't made a clip on it, but I have it. Yeah.
Okay, you don't use it.
No,
Okay.
I got
Well,
some
so much
followers
for
from
that.
Sardonicast. Yeah, I got hit up. So thanks for the follows, guys. Yeah, but no, maybe I'll post something eventually.
You can post yourself right now. Make a TikTok.
What,
Be
we
like behind the
record?
scenes Sardonicast, and then they'll hear you say
Sardonicast live.
what you're saying right now in a TikTok.
Yeah, we can watch Megan is Missing live. Oh, but yeah, I should do like a Megan is Missing,
Yeah, why not? Yeah, do a Megan is Missing reaction on TikTok.
like a reaction. Like, oh my god, is this
Exploit the
real?
I'm so
hashtag.
scared.
Oh, please
Yeah.
do that. I'm literally shaking right now.
I'm literally shaking.
Let's head over to the question segment then. If you want to leave your own questions for us to answer in future episodes, head over to the Sardonicast subreddit, where there'll be a suggestion thread. You can ask whatever you like. Adam Needs a Haircut's going to start us off this episode.
I kind of do. I haven't had it cut since January, but it's past my nipples now. Go on.
Are there any good movies that have bad scripts? Alternatively, are there any bad movies that have good scripts?
It's hard because you have to read the script too to really determine that.
True.
Yeah.
There's a movie called The Man from Earth that if it didn't have the script, it would be a bad movie, but because of the script, it's a pretty fun, good movie. It's from one of the writers of the original Star Trek series.
Oh.
And so there's a lot of like really philosophical science fiction stuff going on in the dialogue. And the story is just very, very interesting. And it gets you to think about what's happening plot wise. It's like you're creating a lot of the story in your own brain. It helps you think of things just like a good book might, you know? But the acting's not great. It doesn't look great visually, like really TV, like fucking 2008, like shitty looking TV quality. And the soundtrack's super cheesy. There's some moments that are just like really awkward, but the script's so good that it was still on my top 2007 or 2008 list or whatever. I would recommend it for sure. It's one that everybody should see. But yeah, it's a great script in an otherwise bad movie, not in a bad movie. In an otherwise bad movie.
Yeah, there are lots of those kind of ones, like good movies that have bad scripts. You might disagree, but Prometheus pops in my head.
Sure.
I think it is kind of the script that is mostly the problem with that. Because I think the same director, the same like budget, and all the same crew working on it. If the script was slightly better, that movie could have been really good.
Yeah, they elevated
more than slightly, but yeah, the visuals of Prometheus I fucking love. Like that's the only thing that's keeping me thinking positively about it is like it's, you know, there are parts of it that are very atmospheric. That opening shot with is he just known as a Promethean? I don't know. The white dude is like falling off the waterfall.
I know what you mean.
Such a striking visual that I love so much, but the movie's fucking stupid.
Yeah, there are loads of those. Like Nolan has he's got his kind of quirks in this regard. Like the bits of Interstellar really jump out to me when it comes to this kind of thing. I just think of the love scene, the love transcends and all this. Like that just kind of murders it for me.
Yeah, the reason why this question is tricky for me is because I feel like the script is so important out of all the elements in a film.
It is a hard one.
Because like the other elements is like what you're doing is you're bringing the script to life through the cinematography, through the performances, through the music. You're servicing the script into a film through those other elements. The focus should be the script in some way, depending on what kind of movie you're making, I guess. But yeah, generally speaking, there might be some that I'm not thinking of right now, but I feel like if a movie has a bad script, it's a bad movie. If a movie has a good script, it's a good movie, generally speaking. If it's an otherwise bad movie like The Man from Earth, then the script elevates it to being a good movie. If it's an otherwise great movie except for the script, a lot of the times the script can make the movie just so unenjoyable that it's a bad movie. You know, something like A Quiet Place is like an example of that, where it's like, holy shit, it's just so, you know, like I wish that the entire movie wasn't just conveniences to make noise happen. Like it just makes it feel so stupid. Yeah. Otherwise, you know, acting's fine. It's shot really nice. The creature design's cool, but holy fuck, bad script. It's just can't enjoy it.
Yeah. How many really good scripts are there out there? Like it's very hard to write one.
Yeah.
The Hateful Eight, like that's good. And I feel like the ones that are the best have the most resources behind them because people really care. They're like, if we're going to make this film, let's make it once and make it really good. Like The Hateful Eight, which is like something I've actually read a bit of. You know, that's like a famous one because like Tarantino shit all over people who read it when it leaked or whatever. He's not going to make it.
Yeah, and it is like a bottle movie, mostly about dialogue, so the script's incredibly important in that way.
Yeah, like those are more interesting to read. But There's also like screenplays are totally revised and are completely different, like from first drafts to how they're released. Like you could see a writer on a film and then the final like script is nothing like the one they wrote, even though they're the one credited. You mentioned Charlie Kaufman writing Chaos Walking. I don't know if he got credit for that.
Yeah.
Like Nine Lives was a totally different kind of movie. It was supposed to be like a, you know, like a more adult comedy, and then they made it shit. Like they made like a kids movie. That's just what happens. Like they take the basic idea and like, how do they make this marketable? You know, how do we make it work for an audience that would see it broadly, and we can get like actors in it? There's so many variables. Yeah, making a good screenplay is very hard.
I've thought about it now, and I think there's a genre that actually has a lot of good movies with bad scripts, and that would be the horror slasher genre.
I was also going to say action.
Because the scripts usually fucking suck. If the movie's good, it's just because it has like good gore and, you know,
but
tension
I don't know
or
if they
whatever.
suck. They're usually,
So like
standard.
High Tension had a shitty script. High Tension had an awful script.
Yeah, maybe.
But it was still a good movie. I think. Yeah, barely good, depending on how you look at it. I think a whole lot of horror slashers have that.
You're making me think of Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh yeah?
Because I think the execution of it is what makes that movie
Oh,
as
there
good
you go.
as it is to me.
Yeah, the
in
script in
terms
that
of
movie
action
does
spectacle.
suck. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is the art of like the action movie. It's supposed to elevate like that standard script. It doesn't really matter what the script is. So yeah, you're
But
right.
I mean,
It's about like it's the art is the action scene, or even in a horror movie, it's like very visceral experience. It's about like the music and the actual sequences themselves, where like the guys getting chased down the hallway. Is that scary? It's not about like, well, I guess it is about dialogue too, of course, but it needs to be viscerally effective too to stand out. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre for me, more memorable than the Babadook, even though I like the Babadook.
right.
It's like a really good script.
yeah. There's one scene I really like from the Babadook, but
There's a lot of scenes I like.
Is it where he's on the ceiling?
And the story is
wearing a
very-
silly
no, it's the
hat?
book. The book is the
Yeah,
best
like,
part of the
that's-
movie. Is before you actually fucking
like
see
the actual
anything about the fucking
maybe the visions of
stupid-looking
him in the
Babadook.
movie are a little silly. Yeah, that's like the execution, but the actual story is like very well constructed, and
Yeah.
the allegory is clear. Like, oh, I get what the story's about. Maybe to someone who's not as savvy or cynical or whatever, like they haven't just seen as many horror movies, or maybe they can't handle a Texas Chainsaw Massacre because it's just so fucking loud. That movie's so fucking loud, and like it's like 8mm film, I think, or 16. It's like grainy as shit.
There are movies that are like, you know, pretty independent of their scripts in a way.
Yeah, like Eraserhead's 30 pages long.
Yeah, just like barely have a script and still make a
I
good
bet
movie.
Texas Chainsaw has nothing. I bet there's like barely anything.
Yeah.
So much changes, I bet, when you're actually working on production. Like actors say things differently.
How about this one from Just Too Good? What are your favorite TV show movies? Ones released in theaters, like The Simpsons movie, Sex and the City, The Muppet movie, etc. And what TV shows would make for a good movie?
Just too good.
Mm-hmm.
we
Lego
know.
movie?
if that is the person.
No. My actual answer would probably be Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah,
good answer.
Yeah.
I really like
It's a
that
good movie.
Mm-hmm. The Simpsons movie's really good.
No.
I like The Simpsons movie. You don't like The Simpsons movie?
I mean, no, I liked it when I was younger. I rewatched it for my 2007 list just to remember what it was like. And it's fine. I certainly
it's fine.
watch it without being angry, but it doesn't have the same it's just so not hilarious. Like it was for the time. You know, like Spider Pig, whatever. Like it gets old so fast. It doesn't have the same draw or cleverness or really anything that the original show had. Maybe it's just because I like the original show so much that watching, you know, what were they around right then? It was like season 20 something or some shit.
Yeah. It's in the 20s probably. It'd been going on for so long, yeah.
Yeah, they should have done the movie earlier because South Park did their movie at like season 3 or some shit. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
If the Simpsons movie happened sometime within the first 10 seasons, it could have been a fucking awesome movie, I think. And I know most people remember the Simpsons movie positively. I'm just saying, you know, despite having some positive memories in my head, I watched it again in the past year and just wasn't big on it. It was fine.
Yeah, I watched it for the first quarantine, actually, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like it more than you, but
Mhm.
I agree in that it's not quite how I remember it from when I was like a kid watching it or whatever, when it originally came out. There's definitely some older stuff, and it is missing. It has a bit of that like classic Simpsons, almost like comic strippy feel, but yeah, overall there's just too much stuff that kind of bogs it down. The modern-y Simpsons stuff that does kind of ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the other one they said?
Sex and the City.
Sex and the City. Yeah, I haven't fucking seen that.
What about the SpongeBob movie?
Yeah, the SpongeBob movie. That's what I have really fun
The
memories
first
of. But I
SpongeBob
think
movie
it's
was
still good.
fun. I haven't seen that since it was released.
I like both of them. I like the Out of Water. There's
Oh.
Sponge on the Run too that came out this year. I haven't seen that one,
Mm.
but a Sponge Out of Water is like really bizarre. Like it's just
Yeah.
it's really
Weird.
strange. It's almost like a stoner movie. I
Yeah.
guess SpongeBob always kind of had that vibe to it, but it was never so like that movie has like a dolphin in it, like it has a musical number. It's like
Half
really,
of it's like
yeah.
2D animated, half of
Yeah,
it's like 3D.
it's like an acid trip. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
really
bizarre.
strange. Like time travel. Yeah, it's like what the fuck's going on?
They can just do whatever they want with SpongeBob. It's so abstract.
The first
Mhm.
one's a little more straightforward. I liked it as a kid. Scarlett Johansson is like a mermaid.
Oh yeah,
Well, who
she's
else
the
was
worst
David
part.
David Hasselhoff, of course,
Yeah, of
but there was
course.
Yeah,
a
that
character
part's awesome.
Dennis. Dennis was voiced by
The
some
Boss Baby's in it. Yeah.
Boss Baby, Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin. He's that guy who
Mhm.
Mm.
grows a mustache or
Yeah,
whatever.
it was like a good cast.
I really liked the Pokemon movie when I was younger. That's not
Yeah,
great,
well,
though.
the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt that would hold up now. To be
Oh, of
honest.
course. I mean, it holds up for me in a nostalgic way. I fucking love Pokemon no matter what. I don't care if it's like shitty at any moment. It's just awesome.
Do you
Still love it.
Did you see that weird Netflix movie they released? That's like a shot
there's
for
a
shot
Pokemon
remake
Netflix?
of that.
Oh yeah,
No,
I've
it's
heard
like,
about
it's
that.
like a shot for shot remake of the original movie.
Yeah.
But it's all like CG. and
Yeah,
it-
I heard about
really
that. I
annoyed
didn't
me.
see it. Sounds
Yeah,
weird.
it, like robbed so much personality because that original movie, like it seemed so cohesive with the like games and the cards and everything. I feel
And
like
the
when you
show.
just change it into and the show obviously, when you change it into this like CG ultra polished thing, I don't know, it takes some of that charm away for me. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like the original artwork and the designs of everything in that original movie. That's what stands in my mind.
Yeah, every TV show to movie thing that I'm thinking of is not that great, other than maybe the South Park one. But it really depends on how you define a movie, because the series finale of Nathan For You, called Finding Francis, I believe is feature length, and that was fucking awesome. So that would be my pick if I'm allowed to call that a movie.
Mm,
I feel like Nathan Fielder considers it to be like a movie, basically.
right.
Mhm.
It's like a big special that's feature length, and it was just fucking... It was the perfect way to end the series. You can't even get mad at him for not continuing it.
Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me is like a spin-off
Mhm,
movie
Yeah.
based on Twin
Mhm.
Peaks. That was good. I
Yeah.
like that.
I've never seen Firefly, but Serenity's a movie, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen Serenity and I remember
Mhm.
quite liking it actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just shocked that movie ever was made. That's my whenever I'm reminded of Serenity, I'm just like, I thought Firefly was like cancelled because
Yeah.
people cared, but they made a movie.
Well, yeah, because it was like Family Guy, where it got canceled, and then the DVD sales were so high because there's a big fan base, and so Family Guy got renewed again after, and Firefly got its own movie.
So they
sort of
greenlit
thing,
a
like
movie
straight
based on
to
that.
DVD or something, right? I don't know if it
Wow.
got a theatrical release.
Oh right, I'm not sure because I saw it well after it had come out. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one though. I think from memory anyway.
There's the Kimba movie, the 1997 movie, Jungle Emperor Leo. That's great.
Ralph, what do you think of this Sopranos movie prequel they're making?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
coming out. I don't know. It's not going to be the
Oh,
same
yeah.
cast. It's well, in the show there's flashbacks to like Tony's dad and Uncle Junior when they're younger.
Mm,
They
yeah.
might be getting those actors. I don't know for sure, but I think it's those guys, and it's about them. I mean, I don't know. It could be fucking fine, but it's gonna be totally different. I feel like James Gandolfini was like what held that show together.
Yeah, and his son
Um,
is playing him in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is intriguing. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one that could just go either way. I feel like
We'll see. You know, HBO makes good stuff, but then they make that Fahrenheit 451 like adaptation with Michael B. Jordan.
You seen any of Mandalorian?
No, that doesn't. I've watched one episode. You know, I was just like, I'm not feeling this.
Really, that first episode isn't great.
People say it gets better.
It does.
It's just a lot of time investment. And I do like watching shows when they get into the thick of it, like 5 seasons in. They're usually better. Yeah. But, you know, I bet it could be cool. It could be something like Game of Thrones, where it's that good.
Well, it was more reminding me of, like, just the Westerns, you know?
I mean, the production value. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, that epic storytelling.
It is crazy high production value now, but...
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that has that high production value, I think. The Lord of the Rings show, that'll be good.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that too, actually. I don't know. I'm my gut reaction is to go as well, but I just feel like you have to kind of go in for a project like that, and they clearly are. So there's going to be something interesting about it, you know. Even if it is a failure, it's going to be on a huge scale.
Did you see those articles saying that they're going to have like full like frontal nudity and like sex scenes with hobbits and shit? Yeah, like they what
like
Amazon is doing right now is they're thinking they want to capitalize on the Game of Thrones demographic, but they have the IP of Lord of the Rings, so they're going to turn Lord of the Rings into Game of Thrones. That's what it seems like is going to happen right now. That's why I'm skeptical.
Well, Netflix has The Witcher, which is like their Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
And this is all the same shit. It's like medieval.
So they're
going
to turn Lord of the Rings into. That's what I'm afraid of, and that's. But we'll see what happens.
Every network has their version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see Netflix has like a space cowboy kind of thing, like a space pirate or pirate cowboy movie?
I have no idea.
It's like Mandalorian. You know, it's like their Mandalorian.
That's so funny.
Or it's a show or something. You know, it's either a movie or a show, but it's something that they can put up. That's like, this is
Netflix
our
has
Mandalorian.
Umbrella Academy. Yeah, they've all got like their equivalents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some things never change.
I wish I knew the titles of these things, but they're all so, you know,
generic.
I just see it as like numbers. Yeah, like Project 7, 2, 8, 11. Like this one's an action like genre. Like it's just so bland. Yeah, all the posters are the same.
Yeah, they've definitely gone for a shotgun approach over at Netflix.
Yeah, just see what sticks.
Yeah.
All right, we got another question.
Yeah, let's do this one from Alistair Asmodeus. Have you ever stopped watching a movie because it was too upsetting? Not because it was bad, but because it was too uncomfortable and such. You guys ever experienced that?
I don't
I only have
think
once.
so.
I don't think so. Yeah.
But I've never seen Cuties, so...
Yeah, we all avoided that, I think. But yeah, the only time I experienced that was when I tried to watch Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, really?
I didn't really like I think I got to the scene where they just like kill a turtle.
Yeah.
Like a real turtle, and it's just like, whatever, I wasn't feeling it then, so I just closed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've shut off a movie for being uncomfortable. If the movie's good enough, it's like...
Well, yeah, and if it can make me intentionally feel uncomfortable, it usually implies it's doing something kind of right, you know, hopefully.
Yeah.
If it's like a horror or thriller or something, maybe if you're feeling uncomfortable in like a comedy or...
Yeah, or even if it's just challenging. I like challenging media, so...
Yeah. Even JC98 asks, what are some pieces of media, movies, games, songs, shows, etc., that you hated initially, but over time grew to like? What are some pieces of media that you initially liked, but over time grew to hate?
Yeah, not hate, but I've grown an appreciation for things. Like 2001, I think I've said that before. The more you see it, the more you like it, yeah.
Yeah,
but I've never like hated something like this fucking sucks. And then like, oh, I see the light now. I was wrong. It's usually when I was younger. Maybe there's like bad kids movies that I liked. But, like that's it.
I wouldn't say I hate it now, but I really liked The Dark Knight Rises when it came out in like 2012. But I've kind of changed on that a bit. I actually re-listened to our discussion on it, and I was like getting annoyed with myself because I just sounded like I don't know, like I was annoyed or something. Like I was saying things and it sounded like I was being kind of mean. That wasn't
funny.
my intention. It's just weird to when you're listening to yourself and you're like, why are you saying it that way? Why are you doing this? But whatever.
I just feel like I feel so differently about the movie now. Like we could talk about it again. It would be like a whole new discussion.
Yeah.
I know that there's movies that I appreciate more being an adult. I don't know if I can put my finger on which exact movies those are, because a lot of them I didn't hate watching the first time. I just didn't get. Like maybe I was like bored by it or something.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had like a strong, visceral, like actually hate something reaction that I then later love. But yeah, I mean, if you watched movies as a kid, there's certainly been things going the other way. I remember, I think even like 10 years ago or some shit, I must have been, like 19 years old. I tried rewatching Richie Rich to see if it held up. and I just got mad and turned it off because it was so bad.
Yeah, I have like that Sky High.
But I loved that as a kid. Yeah, Sky High, nice.
There's some I don't even want to revisit, because I want to leave it. But I think Sky High's like okay. That's not like
List
horrible.
some more.
Yeah, I'm trying to find like a list or something.
Because like I'm enjoying, just because like we're in a little bit of a different generation, and so like I was old enough to like see a movie like Sky High on the shelf, just be like, I wonder what that's like. But I wasn't in the generation that I would have watched it, sort of thing. That was like Rodriguez, right?
No, that's not Rodriguez. It feels like a Rodriguez movie.
It
it's
feels
like a
like
Disney.
one, okay.
It's a Disney Mike Mitchell movie, so it's
Okay.
very like studio, kind of hack job. But it's like fun and like it's superhero high school.
Okay.
The cast is good. I keep saying that, but
Yeah,
it's
I
like
got
at least you
one
got
for-
good actors. Kurt Russell's good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Speaking of Robert Rodriguez, I remembered hating Spy Kids 3. Going back to it, that movie's awesome. It's
awesome.
hilarious. It's so entertaining.
That's awesome that you say that.
It's awesome.
It's so funny.
Yeah,
and so
that's really fun.
aged.
I guess your tastes are kind of strange too. Like you love that kind of shit.
Yeah, I do. It's my weakness, I'm afraid.
It's very particular.
But I can't get on with the first Spy Kids though.
Oh yeah.
I know everyone likes the second one because of the tiny dinosaurs and everything, but not me.
Yeah, I think the only one that I remember any parts of from when I was a kid was probably the third one.
Mm-hmm.
Was the third one the only one on an island, or was there?
No,
were
that's the
they all
second
on
one. The third one is when they like go into the video game and it's all like 3D.
Oh, no, I have to have remembered the second one then. I don't remember the video game shit. I remember some island stuff going on.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's
it's
the
also
second one.
distant that I have I couldn't really piece
Yeah.
together anything.
Like B movie. That was kind of my generation. I saw that when I was younger.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. But
You liked it?
And not that I liked it.
You
I
loved
would,
it, did you?
like when I first saw it, I would probably rate it like an average, like 5 stars, or not
Yeah.
5 out of 10. So yeah, 2.5 out of 5. And then now I'd probably rate it 1 star.
Okay.
Now I'd probably rate it
That's
2
fair.
out
Yep.
of 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's just shit. Yeah. Like why would I even? Like even for kids, that's just shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a movie where it's like, who is the target demographic
Yeah.
here?
Yes,
It's memers
yeah.
now. It's the memers now. It's the
I mean, that's not the
people
target
like, oh,
demographic.
it's now it
That's
is.
the
It's like,
demographic.
oh, B
No one-
movie. Like that's the only demographic this movie has. 'Cause
Exactly.
It has no
the ironic
strong
love.
following. Right. Ironic. Like,
Yeah.
Spirited Away is still loved because it's a good film. Like that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
it's not
Shrek is
loved
in
by
between.
ironic memers.
There's like
Yeah.
ironic and unironic love for Shrek, and then just
Yeah,
completely
that-
ironic love for B movie.
Yeah, I think
That's
the first
interesting.
Shrek genuinely pretty good. It's got some aged stuff in
Yeah.
there, but it's got some good humor, and it's
Yeah.
just the way it's making fun of Disney is awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Shrek is love. Shrek is life. I want to go to Shrek Fest someday. It's in Milwaukee.
Oh,
Shrek Fest.
does everyone like dress up
Oh,
as Shrek?
you don't know about Shrek Fest?
No, I don't know about
It
Shrek
sounds
Fest.
dumb.
You're gonna have
Oh,
to fill me in.
shit. It's like a Shrek convention run by people who are also clearly memeing, and it's like an outdoor like fucking beer festival, and there's like an onion eating contest, and then everybody's dressed up in really creepy costumes, and like there's it's like obviously there's Pin the Tail on a donkey and shit.
Oh, God.
And they like screen movies. They screen Shrek, And then the Shrek Retold thing online, they were responsible for creating that. So the organizers of Shrek Fest organized the whole, everybody do like 30 seconds of Shrek and we'll turn it into it's like we recreated the first movie. And so
I didn't realize they were linked. That's cool.
Yeah. I want to do Shrek Fest.
I
want to do so many things. I've been in my house all year. God damn it.
I know.
Can't wait. Only another fucking, 8 months until traveling makes sense again? We'll see.
We do have a question here about something. It's a bit of a controversy at the moment. I don't know if you guys want to talk about this. Cherry Rabbit Laws has got this for us. What are your thoughts on the backlash Sia got from the trailer for her upcoming movie about an autistic teenager who is played by someone neurotypical, and the way she reacted to everyone's criticism? Do you think the representation of autism in media is awfully minimal and needs to be represented better, and have autistic actors play the role of autistic characters? So do you guys know about this?
Yes, I do.
Go a little more into it. I don't know anything about it, really.
Okay. So Sia is a fantastic songwriter, singer, musician. Yeah. I love her shit so much. One of very few prominent pop voices that I unironically think is super, super talented, amazing, that I love. And I've been following her ever since her old folk pop shit, since it was used in 6 Feet Under. So I've been paying attention to her for a while. And I actually had this movie on my watch list before this controversy because I was like, oh, Sia's directing a movie, might as well check this shit out. And so I didn't read every single comment in this Twitter feud that's happening, but the gist of it is basically she releases her trailer. Some people on the internet, because it's Twitter especially, get really mad that there's someone who's playing a neuroatypical person who might not be neuroatypical in the movie. I think some mentioned oh, you should have at least had some of the proceeds of the film going to some autism charity or something. I don't really know. People are mad. But what makes it more of a news story, I guess, what makes it more interesting is how she responded, because it's very clear to me that Sia did not have negative intentions making this film. She did not, make the film to mock autistic people or neuroatypical people or make, she wasn't doing anything with bad intentions. And so she gets this dose of internet cancer reality thrown her way, and this might be the first time she's dealing with this much of a backlash about something, because otherwise what would people dogpile her for before this, right? And so with her experiencing this seemingly for the first time, despite her being a celebrity, she's also a real fucking person. And so her responses were seen as inappropriate in some ways and out of touch and a little I don't know, flippant or passive aggressive. So basically one of the comments that she got was well, how come you didn't cast a neurotypical atypical person? I'm autistic, and I responded to the tweet casting notice or whatever on Twitter, so I should have been in the movie. And then Sia's response was, well, maybe you're just not a very good actor. I thought, and it's rude, and I can understand people getting really upset about that, but it's so funny to me, because it's, at the end of the day, it's not a serious, seriously terrible. It's fucking Twitter. People are going to be rude to each other. It's rude. It's 100% rude. You shouldn't say that. Optics wise, it's a bad idea for her to say that, and she's going to get more backlash because of it, but it is kind of fucking funny to me. It is still really funny.
Yeah, it just gave them the headline. That one tweet, maybe you're just a bad actor. Yeah. It gives them the full story to...
Yeah. And so just I don't know, I'm trying to empathize with her being well, her emotions were probably really high because she's been working, this is her directorial debut. She's put her heart and soul into everything she does, clearly. She has been working on this probably for years, finally releases a bit of it, and people are canceling her despite the movie not even being out yet because of how they perceive a character as being portrayed or how the casting was, in ways where she clearly had no negative intentions, right? If she did wrong by creating this movie, it was ignorance, not malice. And so I can understand her feeling frustrated and now lashing out in ways which, you know, is just on Twitter, like, oh, you're gonna be fucking rude to me, I'll be rude to you. Like, you guys hate me, like, I'm, you know, that's how shit works. She's a human being, so I don't think she's a monster. I don't think she deserves to be canceled. I'll watch the movie, and if it seems insensitive and out of touch and dated, then I'll comment on that and I'll say that. But I mean, I don't, whether or not she makes something that's unintentionally, I don't know, ableist or insensitive, that doesn't necessarily mean she's a bad person. So some people are just, you know, ignorant in ways, and that's just a part of being human.
It is quite reactionary considering the movie's not even out yet, and it's you know, it's bad faith in terms of like they're just assuming that her intent is bad, I guess. Well, it's different problems coming to a head over, you know, like one issue, because this problem we're having of like in a Hollywood a repetition of the same kinds of like actors and people, you know, getting roles, and that, you know, there aren't that many autistic actors clearly, and it's nice to get more representation, but you're stuck in that weird situation where no one's making the movies. So is it better to have someone make a movie about like an autistic character and do the research and try and tell it in a kind of, you know, persuasive, not offensive way? Or do you have to go to the full mile? And because she even said she did originally cast an autistic actor, but they found the whole situation of, because it is incredibly stressful making a movie, being on a set, everything that's required of you, that she had to recast the main actor.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Just pure practicality reasons, I can see that from the kind of making it side to be understandable. But controlling the message needed to be a bit more important, I think, because it doesn't look good from the Twitter side. Yeah, it's hard to turn the message back after that, because people write things off very quick, you know.
She kind of shot herself in the foot a bit.
Yeah, because she could have, if she hadn't said anything and waited for the movie to prove itself, maybe if it came out.
Yeah, if she didn't respond in any way, that would have been better. Yeah,
but now the die's kind of been set in terms of that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess this is what PR people are for. You know, a lot of celebrities don't even control their Twitter accounts. You know, the more of a blank slate you are, the better perceived you'll be in public eye.
Yeah.
The less of a real person with your own opinions, the better.
I guess the question that comes to my head is more about just the storytelling aspect, and like, does that mean, say I wanted to write a story, does that mean I couldn't write a story that has a character with certain disabilities? Or, you know, Guillermo del Toro likes using inflictions like that.
Yeah, Sally Hawkins isn't fucking deaf.
Yeah, and I felt like that was tasteful and in service of a character. And
exactly, it's all a matter of like how it's presented. Really, it's how you approach it and what your goals are for the film too. Because like, so I watched the trailer and I can see why some people would walk away from it with that impression, like it's almost like kind of exploitative in a way of, I guess, like an identity or, you know, I don't know, a personality type in a way.
It's such a short trailer. It's like a minute.
Yeah, the trailer isn't great, but if it is offensive, it seems so in a way that it doesn't understand that that's what it's doing. It definitely gives me a vibe of like, oh wow, this movie could have come out in like the fucking 90s. Sort of thing, like plot wise.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's so special.
It does seem
she
like
likes
that.
music. She doesn't talk. You know, like it might just be a bad trailer. It might just be like a shit trailer. We don't know, you know, what the marketing versus what the film is, because it didn't show that much. You're absolutely right. It didn't show much at all. And it's a movie that's basically like, she wrote a bunch of songs for it. It's a movie that's supposed to be carried by the soundtrack. It's supposed to be like a movie with the music of Sia movie. And she just decided that she wanted to make the main character like an autistic person. And probably out of love, too, which is probably why she's so pissed off that everybody hates her right now and reacting in this way. She probably thought she was doing something really good for people, and now she's just like heartbroken.
Yeah.
So I feel a lot of sympathy for her, empathy for her, even if she might be doing things that are, you know, out of touch or offensive. I don't think that her heart was in the wrong place. I think, if anything, she's just, you know, Needs better marketing
I
or something.
Seen the movie, so
Yeah, I don't think the movie's out yet.
I don't know how sticky this kind of take will be when the movie actually comes out, but it is the kind of thing that can just murder a movie now. Like, bad word before can really set, the opinion of it. So
yeah, it really depends on who the demographic is too. Really,
I don't know how close the story is to her. Like, if she has some experience with, mentally disabled people.
Yeah, I mean, she was saying on Twitter how she's close with a lot of neuroatypical people, and a lot of them worked on the film or something. But I don't know to what degree that is or how much of an excuse that is. I don't know. I'm just I'll just watch the fucking movie.
What's the message of the film, right?
Yeah, so one of her tweets was replying to someone saying, "The movie is both a love letter to caregivers and to the autism community. I have my own unique view of the community and felt it is underrepresented and compelled to make it. If that makes me a shit, I'm a shit, but my intentions are awesome."
Yeah. Yeah, I totally believe her that, why else would she want to make a movie about, specifically about autistic person, in this whole musical, especially with the, the way that the trailer is, trying to be oh, she's so special in her own way sort of thing. Even if it's out of touch in any way, it's clearly coming from a loving place. And I can totally understand why she would be devastated that people are fucking trying to cancel her over it.
Mm-hmm. But celebrities, they get that for out of touch kind of Oscar bait type movies.
Mm-hmm.
Even just criticism. And
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's how you should.
That's the thing, though, is we don't know if it's that way. It's from a minute-long trailer. At least give them a chance. And if the movie is as condescending as some people feel it is, then I'll be on board. But
that's more the message. Maybe she should have give it a chance.
Yeah, I think just replying is just a mistake.
You can't.
You can't win.
Yeah, that was really funny for me.
It is kind of funny. It is kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's just a na 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 na.
I mean, it's a hilarious way to respond. It's not smart.
It's it's so immature. Yeah.
Exactly, but she was I think
that's
she was
what Twitter is
giving back what she was receiving, sort of thing.
Right, exactly.
It's everybody's going to be immature to me. I'm going to be immature to. Yeah, exactly.
But then you put it on Twitter, and it's
Twitter is the least
people see it.
productive place to have any kind of a meaningful conversation.
And there's no context.
Arguments.
There's no the tone of voice, all of these nuances and the way
and
you
character
say
limit.
It's just gone.
Yeah, you
context.
Can't. Yeah, you're gonna interpret things in however you're feeling in the worst way possible. There's so many fucking things I see on my Twitter timeline where I'm I disagree with that, and I have the words that I could type right now, and I would feel really good about owning you, intellectually, almost kind of, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want this drama. I don't want, I don't need to feel that way. I don't need that gratification or that sense of self-satisfaction of just, arguing with people and being my opinion's the right one. And this, weird incentive of oh, mine got more retweets. I get to put this up on a permanent spot on the internet of me essentially having this snapshot of a moment in time where I have proven that more people agree with me than the person I responded to on this particular issue. It's just so cancerous. This so many things wrong with so many social media platforms. They're just bringing out the worst in people. I hate it. Sorry.
Twitter just murders discourse.
It really does.
But how can you you
so
can't
bad.
even talk about the movie? It's not even about really the movie. It's about political issues related to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just very reactionary. And just reading some of the tweets that people saying that it's totally unacceptable and there are no excuses that they're sickened by it. This language, this hyperbole, it makes the any argument they had to begin with seem ridiculous, even though
there's
even
no
if there
middle
is
ground.
Yeah.
You're just at war. Yeah, it's ideas at war, not compromise.
Mm-hmm.
There are genuinely entire communities on Twitter that you should just ignore. Genuinely, there are entire communities of people on Twitter that you should just ignore because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about and they don't have anything important to say and they're just looking to get mad at people. There's been a couple times where I've angered some mob somewhere and then I look into it, I'm none of you have watched any of my videos, and you're just looking to be like, when you actually delve into it, it's like, none of you are actually like watch it. You don't know anything about me, which is a relieving thing to feel after like people are trying to cancel you for, you know, some random offhanded remark of, you know, saying something about music in one particular film that they took to be racist or whatever. And then you go into it, it's like, oh wait, none of you actually care, and you're just you don't even know me. Like, you got to realize that after a certain point. Who knows how many people Sia interacted with that were just jumping on a bandwagon excuse to be upset about something.
Right.
Who knows how many of those people were actually her fans, or were actually people who were intending on watching the movie in the first place and then got turned off of
Once it becomes a headline, it's
it is
just
an
lost.
app
It becomes
on your
something
phone.
else.
It's kind of fun to kind of just keep posting and replying. There's almost like an impulsive urge to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
well, if you
put
can
the
bait
most
big names into
inflammatory
replying
stuff.
to you as well,
Yeah, exactly.
that adds another allure to it. I'm sure
The
thousands
more
of people are
inflammatory,
tweeting
the
at it.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how many comments you get, like, "Oh, good job. This is a good video," or "I'm really excited to see this." But, like, the inflammatory things are the ones that stick out.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll just stick to shit posts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much safer
I'll
that
let
way.
other people have crazy arguments. I'll just scroll through those and be glad that I'm not a part of them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this one then from Lickety Luke. What are your thoughts on / will you be watching Francis Ford Coppola's recut version of The Godfather 3? The Mario Puzo's Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone. Personally, I think it's a desperate attempt to make the film seem as perfect as the first two, and a few cuts and added scenes here and there aren't going to fix the movie. It does seem that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It has become a very marketable thing now to make the director's cut. It's become more and more common.
The Snyder
Not
Cut
that I'm
of
opposed to
The
it.
Godfather.
Yeah, but it is becoming almost like just a marketing gimmick. Like, what fucking leftover footage do we have? And we can just throw some shitty cut together of the movie. It's not like the Blade Runner cut, where they actually tried to make a different movie because they thought, like, Harrison Ford's narration totally killed it. Like, that's a totally different movie.
Yeah, it depends who it's coming from, too.
Right, it depends the intent. Like, I think you mentioned Gaspar Noé making one Irreversible. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Irreversible is like a really marketable film that like they're making it for the money or
his
something.
thing,
Like,
yeah.
I think they just want to do it. Yeah, but this is just it's so kind of desperate. Like, yeah, let's just milk whatever money we can out of this fucking thing.
Yeah.
So you think there's no chance? There's just no
I
chance.
don't.
I'm not going to watch it.
I think I'm with you.
Because it would be...
I really disliked my first viewing of that movie, so I really don't want to go back.
Yeah.
If they cut it down, if it was 90 minutes, maybe it'd be better.
To skim through it and not like commit to watching the whole thing would be to not really knowing what all the differences are. And I'm not interested enough in knowing how different the cut is to have to watch through that whole movie again. So no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not going to do it. Maybe they redubbed all of Sophia's lines. Dad?
Yeah, we'll check if
They
there's
got
a
Jared
preferred
Leto in
version.
to
Maybe
do
it'll be
it all.
slightly better.
Oh, the helicopters. There's so much stupid shit.
Yeah.
I think about her death scene quite often, actually. That's a good one. It tickles me.
Dad.
Oh, sorry, spoilers for Godfather 3.
Yeah, whatever. Don't apologize. You just saved somebody a lot of time. Yeah, not watching it. It's not going to be good.
No, it's
I'm
not.
not watching it unless someone tells me it's really good or something.
No.
Did he
Even
edit
if
it
somebody
himself?
tells me it's really good, I'm not watching it.
Don't worry, no one's gonna think that.
Ralph, were you going to make your TikTok?
Oh yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah, if I can do it.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. Just like say whatever the fuck you want and just also say it in the podcast. And then it'll be like a nice little like, whoa, you can hear him say like the same thing in his TikTok, but also on the podcast. It's like a sneak
Fuck it,
it's
we'll
like
do
a
it live.
sneak peek behind the
Uh-huh.
scenes
Yeah.
from whichever one that somebody watches first.
So I recorded me saying yeah.
Oh, that's it? Say some more shit.
Yeah, I'm
I barely
not
heard
sure.
you.
Yeah, it should just be like natural conversation. Maybe
It
you
should
can,
be like just
recommend your
start
movie.
recording right now as we're talking at
Yeah.
this moment. And then people
Yeah,
will
that's
be
what I'm
so
doing.
confused. Oh, you're
It said
recording right
limit
now?
reached.
Oh,
Oh no, I gotta start over.
okay, try it again. How What's the
like
limit on
15-year-olds
TikToks?
can use this. It's 15 seconds, or you can do
Really?
a 30-second or a 60-second one.
Yeah,
You can do 60
Yeah, I
seconds.
swore there were like
60-second
ones that were like
TikToks.
minute long.
No.
All right, let me know when you're recording.
Yeah, my hair's really Eraserhead looking. I already recorded it.
Oh, okay, whatever. It's
Okay.
good. And that's a wrap.
Whoa.
Yeah, you can add some effects on it. Yeah, I haven't even tried this thing. I follow
yeah.
people on it. Yeah.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Martin Scorsese's daughter is on TikTok.
Yeah. You can make your eyes.
She seems like she's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
giving him a Marvel birthday cake for his birthday.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
I do not have a TikTok, but somebody posted that in the subreddit, so and I never will. Take that, China. Bam. You thought you could steal my information like Google's doing already? No, thank you.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't posted anything. I'm scared of.
It's too late, bro. It's on your phone.
I think that about does it for questions and all that.
Yeah.
I think we got a film recommendation here. I think it's my turn. And I've decided that I would very much like to revisit something that I haven't seen in like probably 10 years. And I don't know if I will think of it positively or negatively. It could go either way. I'm sure both of you have seen it. It is Peter Jackson's King Kong from 2005. And the 4K Blu-ray is out, so I got the 4K Blu-ray already. I got the Xbox 360 game, which I'm going to play on my gaming channel if it shows up before Sunday.
Easiest
I know
1000G.
that shit.
It actually
Yeah.
broke my fucking computer. I had the PC game and I installed it, and like
What?
I had to reset my entire. I don't know if you saw my tweet of me being like, "Oh fuck this! I have to reinstall every program." Yeah, it fucking broke my computer trying to do the PC thing.
Well, that
so
was
I'm
because of the King Kong game.
yeah, I don't know why. I've installed so many other games. I've installed much older games, things around the same time. I did Catwoman, which was like 2 years before that one. They all ran fine. You know, sometimes it wouldn't like capture properly, but it literally just fucking broke my computer.
Yeah, I played that. I played that King Kong game.
Yeah.
It's on GameCube. I had it on GameCube.
Yeah, I'll do it on the 360. Anyway, the recommendation is for the 2005 film, but
Mhm.
if you wanted to, you could also watch the original, which I will be doing, because I haven't seen
Yeah,
the
I was
whole
planning on doing that.
thing from start to finish. I've seen bits of it, and I really kind of I want to have like a good understanding of like comparing the two of them. So if either of you want to watch the original from 1933 as well, more than welcome to. It's part of the bigger discussion if you got the time for it.
There's another one from 76.
Yeah, I'm not
Sure.
watching that.
He goes to the World Trade Center. Yeah, that one sucks. You know? It's like a guy in a big gorilla suit. Looks like shit.
All right.
3 hours long.
Yeah, really? Which one?
Yeah, it's a
2005
chunky
one?
one. Yeah,
Mhm.
2000, the Peter Jackson one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good movie.
But
I like
I want
that
to I want to revisit it and know how I feel.
Okay, cool.
I don't even have a rating on IMDb. Wow. But I've seen
Yeah,
it a lot of times when I was younger. Anyway, if you don't want to be spoiled for King
Yeah.
Kong 2005 or King Kong 1933, watch it before the next episode. These episodes come out every 2 weeks, and you can listen to them early if you go to sardonicast.com and sign up for premium. It's just $2 a month, and you get these episodes early. Also, patreon.com/sardonicast does the same thing. Also, we got merch link in the description. Christmas is coming up. You've got people that want Sardonicast merch, right? Well, guess what? It's Christmas time, and that's a season where you give people gifts, and the merch is something you could give them as a gift, so you should do that. Give us your money. All right.
Yeah.
Just end it there.
Yeah,
the
give
King
it your
Kong
fucking
33 is very short. It's very short. It's only like 90 minutes, I think. It's
Oh,
like
yeah?
much shorter than the Peter Jackson
Yeah, there
one,
we go. Well,
They don't even get off the boat till like
I'll be
2
watching
hours.
both of them anyway. I'll probably do like one a week.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Have a good week.